Well, that was pretty quick. Hello everybody. This is us again, doing this fairly regularly now, pretty much every Monday for about the past, I don't know, 84 years or something. It feels like, and this week we have somebody new, which is always really nice. Well, actually, not somebody new, but new to this section of the podcast, at least anyway. So we've got Lee over here. I'm going to introduce everybody quickly, Lee, and then we go around and sort of introduce ourselves separately. And then I've got Bernhard, who is a familiar face down there. Just scraped it in there, Bernhard. Completely forgot he was doing it, and then I sent him a quick messenger chat, and here he is. And then we've got Paul Lacey. Blew it. Ages since I got that wrong. Oh no, I'm not feeling good. There he is. Paul's down there. Now the only thing that needs to be seen, Paul, is are you still? No, look, it's Bernhard. Bernhard has been relegated to fourth place. So if anybody makes a nice, healthy, long comment, which I would urge you to do, it's going to be Bernhard's face that gets covered up today, which is always entertaining. So let's go around one at a time. Introduce yourselves. I'll start off with myself because I always miss myself out, and sometimes I think, actually, why did I do that? So I'm Nathan Wrigley. I do WP builds. I do all these kind of things, and the podcast and what have you. So that's me. So Lee, where are you from? What's going on?
Hello everyone. My name is Swaahili. It's Lee for short because that's easier to pronounce. I'm based out of Bangalore, which is in India, and I'm currently working for a WordPress backup plugin company called BlogVault.
We know about BlogVault. Actually, do you know what? I think we've got Akshat on in a couple of weeks' time, which is quite nice. Yeah.
That's good.
27th, I think it is. Lovely stuff. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope it's not too, I hope it's not too confusing or weird or just plain terrible. So there's Bernhard. Oh, not so good. There we go. There's Bernhard. Hello, Bernhard. Say
hello,
hi.
Nathan.
Yeah, hello. Yay. Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm helping out with pods and having my own little company, doing a little bit of WordPress, agency, stuffy like things. That's all about it. And today a little bit late, just to give the spot to Paul, so he doesn't get used to it too much to being the last one.
That's very, very kind of you. Yeah, so we should be covering your face up with other people's faces in a moment. And last but by no means least, it's Paul Lacey. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing great, thanks. Paul here from the Dickybird Studio. I'm back in my office, which is great.
Yeah. Is that the first time?
You can see my fireplace there.
Yeah.
Just dust appears at the bottom of it. You go out the room for a week, come back, and there's a bunch of dust at the bottom of the fireplace every single time.
Have you not worked out that this is how dust behaves?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what happens. You go out of a room and come back a week later.
I've been wondering if Santa is coming.
Very mischievous dust. I'm not happy with the way dust behaves.
Consider vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. It looks nice though. I'm really liking the new office. It looks like there's less stuff behind you. Before you had like a table and a sofa and a whiteboard and everything. Is this one a bit shorter in dimensions, or is it just that we can't see it?
Same size, actually.
Okay.
It's just there's some stuff over there, and then there's some more stuff over there. So it's just a fairly small room, but it's mine.
Does the job. Yeah. Nice. Okay. First of all, then, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor. Actually, I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of this one, I put, excuse me, everybody, I'm going to switch everybody off, which is a bit rude, isn't it? But I'm going to do it anyway because I want to just show this one. I'm going to start saying this. If you feel like sharing this and letting other people know, because I never do the promoting thing. I mean, a bit, but I'm not very good at it. And so I'm trying to get people to sort of say, okay, before it all starts, I'm going to go off and share that I'm watching it. So if you fancy doing that and saying I'm watching this, the best options are wpbuilds.com/live or wpbuilds.com/Facebook. And what that's going to do is, if you go to the Facebook link, you're going to go to our Facebook group. And if you're a member of the group, you can just watch it at the thread there. You have to scroll and find the thread. But if you're not and you've got a Google account, you can go to YouTube, which is the live version, wpbuilds.com/live. And you can make comments there. A few people have done that. Let's have a look at those in a moment. But just to say, this is for the WordPress news for the week commencing the 6th of July. And let's have a look, see what we've got. So let's see. Hang on. Let's put the correct version on so that, hang on, where's that gone? Where's that banner gone? Right, let's get rid of that. Let's put this on so that we get it, so that we make sure to cover up Bernhard's face with great hilarity. No, you didn't look. Oh, great. Did I miss Kinster presentation? No, you didn't already, Matt. We'll get to that in a moment. Hello from Chris. Hi there. Hi there, Facebook user. This always turns out to be Peacher. I don't know if that's Peacher, but there we go. I'm assuming this one is Bernhard. Hello. Hope this week's starting off great, especially hello to Bernhard. And sorry for blocking your face. Look at that. It's like a total massive WP feedback ad where his face should be. Cameron. Hello, everyone. Going to keep making this comment really long to try and cover as many people's faces as I can. Can I cover Nathan's face? I bet you can't, actually. I bet there's a limit to what it'll truncate. But anyway, there we go. And Matt, it's been a long time since Today will be a momentous day as we take our sentences and lay them across Bernhard's beautiful grin. Together we can make a difference. Though lengthy, beautiful prose. I should also add that Pods is great. I like Paul's hat. Nathan's hair looks wispy today and Lee sounds great. This is going to be epic. Right. Let's see what we're doing. This is wpbuilds.com. Actually, I should point this out. We'll come to this later, but this was a nice podcast episode. If you haven't listened to it, I'll come to that later. It really was a nice one. If you click on this subscribe link at the top here, you get to this page. Here you can find out, ways to engage with us. Facebook group. Honestly, our Facebook group is really nice. 2,600 plus WordPressers, and never a horrible word. Although a little bit this week, a little bit crept in. I had to sort of close down a comment thread. That's the first. But you can sign up to newsletters and stuff here. If you go to this link here, which is our deals link, this is like Black Friday, but every day of the week we've got loads of deals. Oh, look at that, Malcare risen to the top. That is a completely random. That is a random SQL query. So there you go. You're locked out, and you can just basically find a ton of WordPress plugins and things on there. They're there all the time of the year. This is our news section. If you go to this link here, and we're always the top left. And today we've got butterflies. So let's get stuck into it. This is our news. I will start with this one. WordPress 5.5 beta 1. I don't really have a lot to say about this, except if you really like doing things on the bleeding edge of WordPress, there you go. There's a new version. There is actually a lot coming in this one. Version 5.5 is going to be pretty massive. You can see here inline image editing, block patterns, which is, think page builders and modules and elements that you're dragging, complicated layouts. It's that. Device previews and block overwhelm. There's absolutely loads. XML site maps, auto updating of plugins and themes, lazy loading of images, better accessibility. Does anybody actually ever beta test these? I know this is a nice release and all, but do any of you actually go out and download the beta and do that?
No.
I reckon Bernhard's
there is a lot of stuff in this release. Yeah. I'm amazed that this stuff is already here. Inline image editing. Looking forward to that. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing what the end of block overwhelm feels like, because I never tried it in the Gutenberg plugin. I never tried out any of these things. Device previews looks good.
Yep.
And then there's a bunch of other stuff. Some improved accessibility. Something about lazy load images. So I don't know.
I think that's leveraging Chrome, isn't it? The browser's now taking
Chrome.
That one on, isn't it? Well, no, not Chrome. Just Chrome. For when you like in the UK, we don't say vacuum cleaner, we say Hoover, just because it's like the word. Whereas I've kind of substituted the word browser for Chrome. That's what happened there. So I just said Chrome, meaning browser, and it's not. I think it's most of them. I think there was one notable exception. I think it might have been Opera or something that aren't going to be hitting this running. But the idea is it's going to be lazy loading of images with the browser. So there's actually a ton in this. It really is about the biggest feature update I can remember, well, for years. But I think my favorite one is all the stuff surrounding the block editor, especially this inline image editing and the whole block patterns thing. Feel like this block patterns is going to take it from the wild, wild west, as Bernhard keeps calling it, and push it into something a bit more pedestrian, a bit more genteel, shall we say? A bit more ordinary. Anyway, I've not really been beta testing it, but I've been keeping a close eye on the news, and it looks dead cool. Anybody got anything on that?
I'm actually really interested to see how Gutenberg turns out. I very recently started using it, and I don't have much experience with the WordPress backend as it is. So I actually found it pretty interesting, and it was pretty easy for me. I'm not quite sure why there was a lot of hate for it when it first was released. I'm very excited to see the smoother editing experience, because I think that was my only problem whenever I was using Gutenberg, that it was a little hard for me to keep going back and forth and edit stuff out. But I'm really excited to see how that comes in this one.
Yeah, I think they made a big difference. They got refined.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I always want to sort of drag and drop blocks in, just page builder style, and I want to be able to take one and push it to somewhere else because it's in the wrong column. And none of that's possible, and that's been possible with, well, in my case, Beaver Builder for like 4 years maybe. And so it felt like that was a bit of a miss hit on the part of the team. Anyway, hopefully all that will come. It's going to be a really nice experience. I feel that in a few weeks' time, everybody will wake up, click update, and then the block editor will be suddenly infinitely better. But a couple of highlights is the featured image editing. Sorry, inline image editing. I think it's going to be the big one. Yeah. Anything on that, Paul? Or nope. Okay, let us move on then. So the next one, let me just put that screen back up. The next one is this one here, new block navigation. So this is something which has been dropped. This is over on WP Tavern. There was supposed to be this new block-based navigation and widget screen, which was supposed to happen. But basically, if you were looking for that, it's gone. They've decided to push it to 5.6, which I think is August this year. So that's not really news. That's like the absence of news. So the next one then, wow, look at it, WP Tavern for the win. Gutenberg 8.5 adds single gallery image editing, allows file image uploads from external sources and improved drag and drop. We were just mentioning some of this stuff. This looks quite nice. So this is the new image editing experience. But previously, if you wanted to upload an image with a URL into your website, that URL would remain the place where the image was stored. So let's say that I don't know, I link to something off the Blog Vault site. I find an image over there which is freely available for me to use, caveat emptor, and linked to it. Then let's say the Blog Vault guys took it down. Well, my site has a big hole in it. But not anymore. You can click this tiny little button here and it will be sucked up into your media library so that you'll have a permanent copy of it, which belongs, well, I mean, I say it belongs to you, at least it's on your hosting environment. So if there's a big black hole on your web page, you at least know where to go looking for it. So that's quite nice. Improved drag and drop. Well, now you can just move stuff around in the way that you'd expect with a page builder. And you can now edit.
Blocks tab is a good one, I think.
Where's that one?
Somewhere about exactly halfway down the page. You've got.
Thank you. That one.
Blocks, patterns, and reusable now. So I imagine that people who are making their reusable blocks are using them a lot, and then they were all at the bottom, I think, before. But now they're in their own little tab, so you can quickly get to them.
This whole UI just looks a load better to me. At the moment, we've got the UI where you click on the button and it floats underneath, with like a little arrow at the top, and it's so big. I think it's going full height. And this looks great. You've got blocks, patterns, and reusable. So reusable being things that you've decided you want to save away and use at a later date. You've now got a little tab for that. And it really does start to look like a Beaver Builder, Elementor page builder now, doesn't it? It's got everything kind of all aligned up in more or less exactly the same way. It's nice.
The only thing missing is no drag and drop into the editor, as far as I noticed, I think.
Oh, okay. I'd misunderstood that or misremembered that. Thank you.
You can drag and drop it to change the position, but you can't drag it from the side into the editor itself.
So you click and where the cursor is at that moment is where it ends up, more or less, is it? Yeah, I guess. Or you can always use the little plus icons.
Yeah, but
spread throughout the UI.
I think they reduced the plus icons to. It makes sense in the end. I mean, it feels more and more like a great tool for people who are not used to the admin or any page builders. I mean, the external stuff and all this. So it's interesting. I think half a year ahead, it might become interesting the way page builder then tried to go, because they need to stay ahead. I mean, some of them have great features which might never happen for Gutenberg, but I'm not so much sure about that anymore.
It's going to be, I think we're very, do you know, I was thinking about this morning as I was putting together the very beginnings of next week's news, and I was thinking, you know, it's not that far of a stretch for me to just use Gutenberg pretty soon, like within a matter of months. Yeah. For my use, right? For the use that I have, I think I am basically sold on it now. I can see for certain edge cases, I would like the customization options of a page builder without a doubt. But it's just so close to being absolutely everything I want. Go on.
The combined tool set, I mean, talking about Beaver Builder, because that's what most of us using is, one is Beaver Themer, like all the archive page stuff and like that, which is really a year good. Or more away from Gutenberg if they ever do it.
Yep.
Then stuffs like inline editing with Wallace Inline or stuff like that, because that's really handy for clients, which I don't know if it works with Gutenberg, never tried it. So that there are things and tools which kind of still puts it ahead. On the other hand, I mean, if they do stuff like that, why use a separate tool and pay for it? And I don't know. It's kind of weird currently.
Yeah. Speaking of weird, this is quite weird. Bernhard's made a comment. No, Paul, completely visible. Yeah, you failed there, Bernhard. I'm afraid. You need to write a considerably bigger one.
It's a tool set because my text was longer, I think.
It actually got cut off. The copy is much bigger.
Ellipsis. Nightmare. So that's
the block editor interface. I always feel slightly overwhelmed with whiteness on it.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
Just like sometimes there's just so much white everywhere. I can't, you know, with almost all the other kind of builder type things, you've got just like, here's your tools, here's your content, and there's something different. I don't know.
No, I think that's a good point. I hadn't really thought about it. I've become so familiar with the bits that I use that it's completely second nature to me now. And although it's got its quirks and there are bits of it that I don't like, I've gotten used to them, almost to the point where if they change it to be better, I'll be angry because it won't behave in the way that I'm used to it. But I agree. Now that you mention it, I mean, we've got a splash of color here. I don't know where this purple's coming from. I'm presuming that's not in WordPress. I'm presuming this is Justin. Is it Justin doing this one? Justin's theme, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, a little bit of color wouldn't go amiss. Right, that's it. Down tools, everybody.
One other thing. When Bernhard was talking about other tools like Beaver Builder and stuff like that, the bizarre thing is with those tools that you pay for, you can actually pretty much talk to the founders and the actual boss of those companies, you know, quite easily because they're such a smaller thing, and it's very difficult to get a direct feedback message to Matt Mullenweg, for instance.
Good point.
I think he would. It's just random comments coming to my head.
No, that is a good point. So what you're saying, that there's a direct line to getting it changed to be, and maybe that's just because you're entrenched in WordPress. You know, if I was to, if you were 2 weeks into WordPress and you wrote an email to the founders of Beaver Builder, do you think you'd get the same level of attention as?
I think if it was a good idea, yeah. So I don't know like how many good ideas come in through the current process and are then taken through. I know there's all the suggestions and stuff that they have in the track or whatever it's called that they use, but I don't know how many things are community suggestion and how many things are the core team deciding it.
Yeah.
So I'm ignorant to it to a certain extent, but I know that people can upvote things for products more than they can upvote an open source thing.
And another thing, you pay for the support you get. I mean, especially with Beaver Builder, if you ask them stuff, they help out. They take a look at your site or do stuff for you. Maybe, okay, go there and do that. Oh, wait, we can fix that, and you get an endpoint, whatever point release. and that makes a difference. But it depends on the page builder on the other hand, because we all have heard from Elementor, they aren't that cooperative, but then they have far more users and they are cheaper. So it's always like a little bit you pay what you get. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It hugely depends on the company, because for example, the POTS integration into Beaver Builder we could do because there was support, because they wanted it to be done. Others are sometimes not that cooperative. Even we tried to help out, we say, okay, let's go. So it depends on the company behind it too, not only if you pay for it or not.
That's a good point. Okay, right. I'm going to stop using Gutenberg. That's it. I've had enough.
No, don't do it. Use those. We started, my graphic designer and we started to use Gutenberg. Don't care why or not, because we need to. It's the future. You can change that. And even if you use Beaver Builder to then output that content, because it's just the content, it's like using it and getting used to it and getting used to the quirks, or maybe see some good stuff in it. And for the users, it's because 1 year, or I don't know how long, then Classic Editor should be gone, or at least will not be supported any longer. I mean,
2 years away, is it, or is it this
2 years
year?
now, and end of next year. But I mean, come on, that's tomorrow. Sometimes it feels like that, and then you have to support the sites and change it anyway, because I mean, so go and use it, even if you don't like it.
I like it. I'm not going to stop using it. I really do like it. It has enough of what I need at the moment. This is quite an interesting one. Cameron, I've decided that you are the man to build this. Cameron wants there to be a Paul Lacey's face block, and then a comment to come.
My ego would love it, to be honest.
I imagine it's not responsive enough. Exactly. How dare he?
I thought it was a good idea, and clearly Cameron does too.
That would be so funny if Cameron threw that together. Great point, Paul. Great point, Paul. It does seem to be insulated. I think is that feature? Does anybody know? We don't know. But the point being that you can at least get an email back from the Beaver Builder guys or et al. Whereas you're not going to get the same thing. And Sabrina, hello Sabrina. Sabrina and I will be here this time tomorrow, but we'll talk about that later. And company depends on people, and she obviously loves Beaver Builder. That's great. Okay. Let's move it on a little bit. Let me just put the screen back on. There we go.
No, so the Facebook user was David McCann.
Oh, David McCann. Thank you, David. David, there's a little link at the top, the bottom of the description, but above the video. You've got to click on a little StreamYard link, and it gives them permission to know who you are. Of course, now that we know that it's you, you don't need to. We'll just assume it's you from now on. Right. Okay. That was our little WordPress core bit. Then we're into community. I don't know about this one. This one's interesting. Nobody wrote about this, so I had to just take a screenshot of it. And there's my screenshot. So I opened up WP Admin on a variety of sites the other day, and I have duplicate post in my WP Admin as a plugin. And of course, Yoast took it over let's say a couple of months ago. It's probably not as long as that. But about 9 months ago, Yoast got into a bit of hot water with the community because they put an advert up on the admin area right at the top. Remember that bird flying with the thing trailing behind it, like the little banner trailing behind it? And they walked it back, and they apologized profusely for doing this, which then is why I'm posting this, because do you feel this is an advert? So Yoast have taken over this plugin. Is asking for an email an advert? Because A, it feels to me a bit like it is, and B, this is twice as big as the one they put on the website previously.
There is a problem with this, and I think that Matt Mullenweg and co wouldn't be too happy about this, because you're in your WordPress dashboard. For a lot of people, they don't know they're in an open source piece of software. They just think they're in this trusted thing called WordPress, right? And if you subscribe to that, it's some kind of WordPress based thing. Not most people, a lot of people wouldn't know, oh, that's the Yoast plugin. I know what that is, and this is an email about the duplicate post thing, so I don't mind putting it there. I think that it's almost putting your subscribe form inside open source piece of software's dashboard feels worse than an advert to me.
Okay.
Because there's an element of trust that the user surely must know what this is. I don't think a lot of users do.
Yeah.
So I think this is naughtier.
Okay, that's really interesting. In which case, so
I'm not outraged though.
No. I
think it's naughtier.
Yeah, the argument from their point of view is it's not an out-and-out ad, is it? It's not trying to get you to pay money for something or upgrade something or spend anything. It's just like, give us an email address. And, I mean, it's interesting because it says, if you want to stay up to date with all the exciting developments around duplicate posts, subscribe to the Yoast newsletter. I'd be interested to know how many people actually filled this in.
I mean, I didn't see where that read it, but it's exactly the point they used to argument for it. Like, we just want people to subscribe to the newsletter so we don't have to inform them via the dashboard. So it's a little bit tricky discussion. It plays in another thing. Like, I don't think you covered it in your news because WordPress removes third-party links from the documentation. Which
that came too late for me. Yeah,
that factors too into that, and that's a very, very difficult discussion because Yoast, I'm sure, is one of the companies who help out developing WordPress itself. I think they have a dedicated developer. They fix things in the core. So, are they entitled to it or not? Or what's about companies that don't support WordPress development? Shouldn't they get exposure or not? And that's the same discussion with links in the documentation. Because if I contribute to the documentation, shouldn't I be allowed to at least do a little bit of advertisement because I'm doing something for WordPress or not? I mean, that's not easy. The same is all those dashboard notices because all the companies give you a service for free. I mean, you have Yoast in the free version. Yes, it's not the only one because now we have RankMerf and SEOpress and all the others. But for a long time, there were only a few SEO-oriented plugins. So is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And we all know free stuff always comes with a different price. I mean, like using Google, we all know we are tracked. We are paying with our data. And shouldn't developers, at least to a certain point, be allowed to benefit from stuff they're doing for free? I don't know. It's a very difficult ethical discussion. I'm sure you shouldn't overdo it, but how much is too much?
That's the point, right? And somebody in our Facebook group, because I posted this and, a few people, I think there were quite a lot of comments, actually. The point that struck home with me wasn't like that this is wrong or anything like that. It's just that, well, if they can do it, we should all be doing it. And so let's say in a situation where you've got 10 plugins on a website, which feels like would be fairly normal, then you've got 10 ads. And by the time you've got 10 ads,
each of those companies own.
Yeah.
So if one plugin owns 10 plugin, you might have 10 for one plugin. I mean, I know you probably won't, but it would be good to have some rules.
Yeah.
And then there's no gray area of, well, I've given so much of my time of my company for free to WordPress, so therefore I deserve to be able to do what I want sometimes on the edge of what people think is okay.
So this feels like a nice idea. Should be on the settings page. I feel that it would be good. Where when you're in the WP admin and you've got the uninstall and what have you. That feels like a good place to put it. Just like there's an update banner in there somewhere. Just on the plugins page. If your plugin has something they want to tell us, it should just be a little thing in there. And maybe that could even go back and put in a number when there's an update, even if the update isn't an actual plugin update, it's some kind of notification update that could add to the number, and it says 3, and you go in expecting there to be 3 updates to the plugin, but actually no, it's a notification. Maybe that'd annoy people more.
You could snooze them, so if Yoast was getting annoying, you could just snooze Yoast, but you could listen to like Malcare's updates if you wanted, for instance.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there is a point for all those discussion about a new notification feature for WordPress. There is even a featured plugin they're working on, I think.
It is coming,
to sort of struggle that out, to have maybe a tab for real important information, a tab for updates or stuff like that, and then, for example, a tab for advertisement or whatever, or at least be able to somehow manage it and don't confront maybe new users with all that bunch of information. They don't even know what to do with it. I mean, for clients, for example, it's a nightmare if they accidentally see stuff like that because they use their admin account or whatever, or they wanted admin access. It's and I think it's time for it, because WordPress has grown such a big or widely used solution that we need to change or think about doing things different.
I'm going to nominate Matt Davis as the new lead of notifications in the WordPress project. And this seems like a good one as well. Plugin feed. Section of the dashboard where any plugin can stick their stuff. And if you want to, you can disable it. Or rather, Matt's suggesting it be disabled by default. And you can go in and enable it. But I like your idea, Paul, of snoozing or toggling on and off certain things. Because honestly, I don't think I want to hear about duplicate posts much. Not really. I doubt that it'll come out with a feature that I really will miss if I don't, know about it anyway. I could be wrong. Anyway, but you make a good point. Whoever it was that made a point, it was you, Bernhard, about the fact that they commit loads to the project. So it's tricky. It's tricky. Just add notifications feed like on our phones and desktops. Put everything in there. Yeah, and limit its scope. Limit its literal size. 300 pixels wide, 7 pixels high, font size 1. Nice. Okay, there we go. Right, let's put the next one on. Where's it gone? Where's the button?
But maybe just a second. Maybe I would be interested in Lee's comment, because she or Swaahili. How to call you best?
Lee would be fine.
Okay, because. Just at the beginning, I think you mentioned you're not really used to the WordPress admin and backend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what's your point on it? Because Paul and Nathan, we are developers, or at least seasoned in that area.
Thank you. I think for me, what strikes me the most is that for someone who's a beginner and who probably isn't very familiar with the entire interface, they would probably associate Yoast as something that's backed by WordPress itself. For someone who has no idea what Yoast is, or the fact that Yoast is a separate plugin in itself, and it's not, it's not backed by WordPress. So when I look at this as from the perspective of someone with no idea about duplicate posts and what Yoast is, I would totally think that this is something that's being shown there by WordPress itself, that this is very associated with WordPress itself. I think that was the point that Paul was trying to make as well.
Yeah, you articulate better.
Yeah, the ethical question here would be, how okay is this when you look at the fact that there are other plugins as well, like Rank Math or SEO Press, who are pretty much doing the same thing. They have free plugins offering similar features, but why are they not there? So I think I'm not really for the idea of it, because it definitely would make someone who's new to WordPress think that, okay, this is something that I should get, even though maybe they're probably more suited to use another plugin.
Okie dokie. Thank you
I've got
so
one more
much.
point to just pull forward on it, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
It's just that I think one of the reasons you don't see ads from a lot of the other smaller plugins is because it would annoy someone so much that they would not use that plugin. Yet Yoast is in such a position of power that they can put those ads in, and they might lose a few. They might get a few people like us moaning in the community, but overall, people need that plugin so much that they'll put up with it. So it feels a little bit unfair on that basis that they'll do that, knowing full well that because they're useful, people will put up with it, and other people wouldn't be able to get away with it.
Yeah, good point. Anyway, it was a topic ripe for debate, I think, and it's It's got oh, there we go. Matt's making that exact same similar point. When a company is big enough to contribute to the project as a whole, oh no, sorry, different point. Does that make them more valuable than a solo developer? Yes, they're helpful in doing a lot, but the whole point of open source is that it's accessible to all. Too easy for big companies to buy out all the best or upcoming plugins and silence the rest. Yes, that is also a very strong point. Yeah, the answer is I don't know. But that's the answer I give to almost any question, so that's of no help. I'm going to change the mood, though, slightly to something we can all agree is very blue. This is quite blue. This is lovely. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but stumbled across it this week. It's WP Time Machine. It serves no purpose other than to show you what WordPress looked like in times gone by. Look, it's days of yore WordPress. This is version 1.0, and obviously you can skip along the bottom here. Oh, that's... Anybody got any stroboscopic problems? Sorry about that. That might have caused people to collapse. I do apologize. And you just go through and look at what WordPress looked like. It's just fun. Just fun. So no reason.
2.3? That was...
I'm going to go to 2.3. Hold on.
I used in 2007. So I wonder...
Oh, there we go. 2.3 is that. Do you remember that theme? Yeah. What were they thinking?
Oh.
I mean, even at the time, did you not think that was a bit
I was just grateful for what it did.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
it was. It
kind of looks like it looks like a Trello or an Asana board, to be honest.
Yes, yes. I wasn't using WordPress at the time, but this would just crop up everywhere on the internet because obviously WordPress even then was starting to dominate. And I remember thinking, man, there's got to be better than this. And anyway, it's just a lovely little thing that you can go and play with. There's no actual benefit. I don't think there's any links out to anywhere. You just, what happens if you click? Oh, you just get a nice big version of it. There you go. So that was that. Does anybody want to talk about this one? Because if not, I'm going to move right along because I'm not sure that I'm ready to talk about this one. Just shout out if you do. If you don't, I'm just going to close it and move on. This is the WordPress.
Badges.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the only thing that came to mind was that I thought that we had enough amazing pieces of news going on in the world at the moment until this one came on.
Yes, that's it. You see how exciting
this is. What we all need to focus our attention and energy on.
Yeah, it's yeah. In a post-COVID world, getting attendance badges for WordCamp is of slightly less importance, shall we say? All right. Yeah. In which case, let's move on. This, however, I think is cool and worthy of talking about. So this is like some kind of hybrid between single site and multi-site. This is the endeavor of some ingenious plugin developer whose name I am going to forget. I do apologize, whoever you are. But essentially, they've got this new website called Stackablewp.com, and it enables you to do a significant proportion of what you can do with multi-site, but with a single site. So it says here, what is stackable WordPress? It's a way that you can run many WordPress websites on a single installation of WordPress without multi-site. It's like stacked on top of one WordPress website stacked on top of another. Now, before you get too excited and think you can leave all your hosting services, be warned, this is only experimental. But I just thought, some guy somewhere thought, can this be done? And they just set out and did it. I can't imagine why you would want to do this. Maybe there's a particular use case which is totally viable, but maybe landing pages or something like that, where you just want to have different WordPress websites in one install with different domain names. Anyway, it was all very technical, but I just thought it was a nice, interesting idea.
I got a use case that we've got with one of our clients. Is they're a company that do gym software for gyms. So if you're a small gym, you can use their software and you can install it in your gym, and then you can have members, and the members go to one website and they pay, like a payment portal site, and then also you go to the gym site to check out what software it is. And they've got 2 sites. We've always got 2 sites, and we didn't use multi-site for it. Actually, we used just 2 installs, but maybe this would have been quite a nice way to do it. But you'd have to be part of core, I think, for anyone to really trust it, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's just an interesting project.
A bit nervous about it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about it either. I mean, just to have the WordPress core shared, I mean, where's the point? I mean, you can just use symlinks or stuff like that, and it should work. The same database, nothing special there too, because I have 3 installations and just use the same database. So I don't really see the benefit, but maybe I didn't read it closely enough.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really see. I mean, this bottom paragraph is addressing that problem, but there doesn't seem to be a particularly rock solid argument for it. But I think Paul's use case might be good. I mean, if it's 2 WordPress installs, because it has to be 2 WordPress installs, but it would have been better to be 1, then I can kind of see that it might be. If it's 1 company and it's a shared database within that same company, there's not really a conflict of interest. Where, if you're going to build your entire website business on 1 install of WordPress, maybe that's not a goer. But, interesting idea. What do we got next? Do you know what? I couldn't see the point in this until people started telling me the point in it. So this is the ability to update themes and plugins via a zip file, which is a bit nerdy because I just click the update button. And then David Wormsley, who does the podcast with me, says that he's been wanting this for years. And apparently you like it, don't you, Bernhard? I remember you saying this was quite cool. I mean, I just don't, I to date would never have used this. What's the benefit? Why is it cool that you can now upload a zip file and it'll update, not just install?
One simple example. Imagine you have bought a premium plugin, but you have only 1 license of it, and you have a development environment. So you can't have your live site and your test site updating at once, or if you're just using it to test things out and not have a proper development, staging, release thing, then you might want to update your plugin on the live site or on your testing site, and only at one place it just works. And then you just download the file, upload it, thanks, job done. Or to test things out, or maybe you have found a bug and the developer sends you just a zip file with the newest version to test it out, and you can install it. So there are many ideas where this is very useful.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, just in the way that I interact with WordPress, it probably wouldn't have happened, but I can totally see why that might be useful. Apparently, it's been 11 years since somebody suggested this, and and now Justin's kind of making the point it's becoming a bit obsolete since we had 1-click updates and so on and so on. But anyway, here we have it. Vito.
There's a plugin by Chris Jean, it says, which does it. Which is cool because I didn't know about this as well. But there is from time to time, if you've got an old Envato plugin or something that you need to override and you haven't got FTP access or something like that for whatever reason, then it can definitely be useful. And so it looks like even though it's going to be coming to core now, I guess I don't need to worry about this new plugin that I've just discovered in this article.
Matt Davis is saying it saves the whole 20 seconds. Do you know what? There's a couple of times I've written to plugin developers and asked for a little fix, and they've fixed what's wrong just for me, and have sort of said, okay, we'll explore this a bit further, and we'll think about putting it into the main plugin just in case. And so in that situation, that would have been really helpful because I just get a zip file, just upload it. I've got the newest version, which works for me. And it doesn't necessarily have to update out to everybody else. Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, especially because you need to deactivate the plugin, then delete it, and then you can upload, and then you can activate. It's not that difficult, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
I think there's a comment here as well, which talks about how this is really useful for plugins which are not available through the plugin directory.
Yep.
So maybe I'm thinking people who build their own personal plugins for clients or themselves. I think this would really be helpful to them.
Yep. Good point. Okie doke. So that was actually quite useful after all. I'm not going to touch on this one too much, but I just thought this was interesting. I quite like reading WordPress success stories. I do find myself getting kind of sucked into it. And this is mental success. This is so cool. This is somebody who it's a Lifter LMS piece, right? So they're obviously trying to say, look what Lifter LMS. Oh, speaking of which, I'm wearing a Lifter LMS t-shirt. They're trying to say, look what our plugin enabled, which is great. Fair play to them. It's great, but it just struck me what an interesting little niche. $277,000 a year business, and what they do is they sell courses about how to make things out of balloons, like this lady's dress. And you just think, like, honestly, the cynic in me would have said 80 pence is the limit of that. Like, they're going to sell one and it'll be worth about $1. And look how wrong I am. Look how wildly wrong I am. $250,000 plus on selling courses in this tiny little micro niche. I feel like I've just wasted my life. Just I need to get into balloons. It's just clear to me now.
No, that niche is taken. You need another one. Maybe you can. I don't know.
Exactly. There's the problem. Actually, completely as an aside, there's a lady in the UK. Did you see this, Paul, in the UK? I think it was possibly in the Guardian newspaper, maybe on the BBC. There was a lady who at the beginning, and her husband, so it's a family enterprise, who decided to make hand gel, for cleaning your hands at the beginning of the COVID epidemic. They've now, that family from nothing now is worth £30 million.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you just think, man, talk about finding a niche. So in 3 months, they've gone from 0 to £30 million business selling hand gel, which to me is going to keep selling for years to come. That's brilliant. What have we got here? Matt Davis saying, that's awesome. Although that dress isn't much. No, I'm not gonna comment on that. That's a type that's gonna go nuclear. Anyway, I'll take that off Bernhard's face. Sorry, Bernhard. So the next one is talking about, I think we've moved out of community. Yeah, the next section is all about plugins, themes, and blocks. First one, Elementor. Do you know what? I didn't mean to say element. Is that what I actually said?
Yeah.
Did I actually say, I apologize. Oxygen, gone to version 3.4. I really like the videos they make. They've got this guy, Elijah, who I think probably is on the development team, but he makes a cracking video. It's just something about his delivery I really like. And so the highlight features are they've got undo and redo. So now you can undo and redo. So long as you don't refresh the browser session, you can just undo and redo as much as you want. It just starts tracking the moment you load it up, and you can undo and redo. So that's really nice. I think that's a feature that I would use if I was using Oxygen. They've got shape dividers, like really quite complicated. I think they've got 30 permutations, and you can layer them on top of each other. So you can put one shape divider next to the other. And then they've got these new design sets, which is a bunch of free, rather like the Elementor templates that they bring out. Everything for the freelancer, everything for an IT industry, everything for weddings, all done. Point, click, drag, nice, simple website, done. I wanna use Oxygen more, but I just don't seem to ever get to the point of clicking install on it.
I don't know. I mean, it gets just rid of the basic WordPress way to do a theme. It's like hooking in before and scrapping the rest. But maybe then I'm still biased because they used to do very, very not my style marketing. I
think they handed that over to Elijah. I think Elijah seems to be driving that now. And it's definitely less incendiary.
I don't know. It's a great idea, but with all the other stuff happening, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah. I every time I look at it, all the little videos that come out with the feature updates, I think that's good, and that I like that. That's really nice. I like it all. I just feel like it's a struggle for them to keep up with the likes of Elementor and what have you. Just came to the market a little bit too late. Yeah, look, there you go. There's the lady and the gentleman. There's a link, metro.co.uk. A couple who set hand sanitizer business 12 weeks ago, set to make 30 million. I wasn't making it up. Yeah, my brain is going crazy just figuring out the most obscure thing I know. Yeah, turn it into a course. What about a course in how to do courses? Yeah, you see. Yeah. Husband is a property developer, apparently, so I wouldn't imagine they started from... Oh, okay. So they had a bit of money to start with. All right, I exaggerated that bit.
And you ever know how much really is left at the end if it's just a little bit blown up and nothing sustainable behind it?
I don't care. 30 million, who cares? just whatever.
No,
Wasn't sustainable. How much did you make? 30 million. Oh, it's rubbish. Yeah, I'll take that. Shane says it's the output code that intrigues me the most. Bravo, Shane. That's what keeps coming my way as well. I keep getting told that the output is minimal, that there's very little. Go on, Bernhard.
I understand that as a developer myself, but in the end, it doesn't matter anymore, because I know it's maybe the wrong way to go about it, but the internet is fast enough nowadays. Those extra lines of code don't matter to anyone anymore. And just because it's a beautiful code, it's who cares? Your user don't care. They care about usability. They care about user interface. But there is no customer which takes a look at your code. As long as it works, it's fine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's the same discussion with all those page speed metrics and stuff like that. Yeah, I always wonder. Yeah, maybe you get great ratings, but your site still sucks. Or then take a look at Amazon, because I had discussion lately. Sorry, going off topic, but yeah, Amazon has a poor rating on all those testing tools, but they know what they do, and the site is fast for that. What's important. So I think we shouldn't get lost in metrics that don't matter, because clean code isn't the metric that matters, as long as it doesn't lead to a significantly faster site. I don't care.
Well, they're doing undo, redo, shape dividers, and new design sets. That's all I'm going to say in that case.
Sorry.
But, no, it's fine. No, of course you speak your mind. That's good. Elementor 3.0.
No,
I can't even remember what this was about.
This release is how annoyed he is with all the code output that Elementor.
Yeah. Go on, Bernhard, do that. That'd be really good. Bloated code, so many lines. Why don't they care about GT metrics scores?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. This one is all about going global. So Elementor 3.0 is clearly a big release, right? It looks like the last time they did a 2.0 release is well over 2 years ago. So it's a significant moment for them. And the idea is kind of global everything, be able to control all the things in one place. So they're touting these features. By the way, the reason that we're looking at GitHub is because they want beta testers for this. So you can find it all out here. Check this out, though. This is the length they go to, right? When was the last time, apart from Elementor, that you went to a GitHub page and it had videos, screenshots, bullet-pointed itinerary of what they want you to... I mean, look at it. It's like... They're just pro. They're just totally. They just get it right.
They're really, really great at marketing, and the product isn't bad either. Maybe we are more here from the Beaver Builder faction, but that's a different. I think it's a different target market, because that's for do-it-yourselfers and stuff like that. But I'm surprised how many agencies are picking up Elementor sometimes. But global stuff is the way to go. I mean,
look at this. So we've got global colors, global typography, global settings, which include site identity, lightbox settings, all the whiz-bang stuff. And then the site editor. I wasn't really clear on what that meant, the site editor, but that's going to be a pro feature. The assumption then, I think, is that these ones will be in the free version if they're not saying that. Anyway, Elementor users, check it out, beta.
I mean, you get this movement towards global settings, which is a good thing in my eyes, because you get consistency all over your site if it works. But you see similar things done for Gutenberg from Cadence and others. There is I think even in Beaver Builder was a discussion since years, at least it feels like, how could they tackle it, or how could it be done? There is a Beaver Builder from Beaver Team Pro. They now have a different name. I didn't. How did they rename themselves?
Aren't they just Beaver Team now? Oh no, they're called SiteSpot. SiteSpot.
Exactly. They sync colors for you between the customizers and Beaver Builder. So, but that's one step ahead is to have real global colors. Once you change them, they are changed everywhere.
Yep.
And they have a tool that lets change your colors, like from the back end. So there is stuff like that there, and it's very, very handy for those nasty clients which said, "Oh no, let's change the blue to a different blue because it looks better on this monitor." But well, they don't get that every monitor is different. But yeah, you know, those kind of.
I'm just gonna, because I want David's voice in here because he's made the effort to go and click on the StreamYard link. Oxygen finally added an undo feature. Bernhard, everyone has different values. The reason you like Beaver Builder don't matter to some, etc. Yeah, take that, Bernhard.
Yeah, give it to
look,
me.
and he's even hidden your
literally
face.
In your face.
Yeah, literally in your face. That's so good. I'm guessing, Shane says, I'm guessing that the editor will be something like Wallace Inline now. I wonder if we're back to Oxygen there, or if we're talking about, I presume, Elementor.
Yeah.
Yes. I think the site editor has the ability to change things like the icon. Oh, right. Okay. So all of the, like a collection of the settings that you would have to go into in the WordPress backend. Yeah, that sounds like quite a nice idea, right?
For me, it read like you don't need to go to the customizer. You can do everything in Elementor.
Yeah. Try to avoid the whole WP admin area as much as humanly possible. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, there's a whole slew of things. Paul?
Elementor and Oxygen are both going really against the core WordPress. They're kind of like, it's almost like, forget about what's going on with core WordPress. This is how you can do it, which probably works really well for some people.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like how the core is going and, you know, editing the site with blocks, you can still do it this way. And time will tell, I suppose, for all of us. If
I think there's room for that kind of user.
Of course there's room for it. Yeah, there's 36% of the whole web is using WordPress. You don't need a massive chunk of that to support these kind of ideas. They both seem to be doing pretty well, healthily, and both two companies really good at marketing. So they can convince enough people this is the way to go. They'll be fine.
Yeah, it looks like David's absolutely right. So logo, title, tagline, favicon, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So keep you out of the WP area, WP admin area, which, you know, I suppose for some people is better than getting stuck in it. Okay, speaking of betas, Gravity Forms, we mentioned them a couple of times. They seem to be on a charm offensive at the moment of trying to kind of. Oh, I just heard something. Was that me?
Sorry, that was me playing the video. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's okay. That's fine. I was thinking that's so weird. I'm missing out the Body Boss bit, by the way, because it was just a promotional piece. But I thought I'd mention it because there was a lifetime deal recently. But Gravity Forms, here we are, version 2.5. This is the beta version. Top features. It's interesting. Normally, accessibility gets sunk towards the bottom, but they've made it number one. That's the first thing they want to talk about, which I thought was quite nice. But the new form editor, very, how should we say, very Gutenberg-esque. Certainly an improvement, big improvement on the last UI, I feel. I feel like the last UI was due a bit of a refresh. They're trying to make it a bit closely resembling the Gutenberg editor, as they say here. They've got new form markup styles, new theme integrations, custom front end, new API settings, added security enhancements. I don't really know. But the point is, go and get tested. You know, I just don't remember seeing this level of marketing from them. It was almost like they were just quiet.
Maybe they start feeling the pressure. I mean,
I think so.
It's I'm not sure about that, but recently I get the feeling the discussion in the more developer-oriented or agency stuff we like groups is like Gravity or Fluent Forms. And it's funny because Fluent Forms is one of the newest contenders in the area, and rarely it gets mentioned of all the others because there's Ninja Forms, but they have gone relatively quiet. Caldera, which never really worked that well for me, at least once I tried it. And all the others, there's so many different WP Forms and stuff like that. But I read about Gravity and I read about Fluent Forms. Maybe it's my bubble. I'm not sure.
No, I think you're right. I jumped on Fluent Forms because I had a very affordable lifetime deal. Actually, Jewel was on the podcast on this. Was it last week, Paul, or 2 weeks ago? Probably 2 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, I think I wasn't on.
3 weeks. Oh, okay. Well, he was on, and they did a. Although they weren't at version 1 or anything, they decided to just go all out with a crazy lifetime deal. And I think that just massively swelled their ranks. And they've still got a lifetime deal, which I feel is possibly causing a bit of an interest as well. The lifetime deal is now much more expensive, but still, you know, if you believe in them and you believe that their product is sustainable, then it still represents great value. You know, you buy it once and you've got it forever. I've probably now spent $1,000 on Gravity Forms over the years. Maybe not as much as that. Yeah, possibly. Have I had it for 10 years?
The ecosystem for Gravity Forms is still way ahead, like with Gravity Flow and all the add-ons. But maybe they took it a little bit too slow the last years. Like, there is no free version of it. It was always just a developer tool. Yes, it's great because there are so many hooks and options and stuff to do, and there are many integrations. So I'm not sure. Yes, I got my Fluent Forms too because it was just cheaper. I thought, why not? I mean, in the end, Gravity Forms isn't cheap if you have a full-site unlimited developer license. So I'm not sure. And the support from Fluent Forms is really fast. I was impressed because I had 1 or 2 questions and they got answered quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I like it, and it does feel to me as if it doesn't take many people to start jumping ship and not renewing their licenses. Let's say that typically 95% of Gravity Forms licenses just totally ticked over, and that was just the churn was almost nothing, and then suddenly that goes down to 80 or 85. That's a lot, right? And I would imagine that, well, people like Chris, for example, who says he prefers it, although it's not as well known. Perhaps they've made that decision. I actually let Gravity Forms tick over again a month or so ago, but I really did think, why would I do this? And it came down to inertia. It came down to I just can't be bothered to go around all the other sites updating the forms. There's just literally no point in it. You know.
I think it ties into the discussion a little bit. Most of the bigger plugins got rid of renewal discounts.
Yep.
And for me, that's a weird decision because they all have like those Black Friday deals and stuff like that. So, for example, to be honest, last year I just got a new Gravity Forms license because it was only used on a few sites, and I thought, why should I renew the one when I can take a new one much cheaper? And other licenses have just let run out because, well, when there's no renewal discount, there's no update, I don't need it. And in half a year, when there's an update, I can still get a new license or renew the old one because there's no discount anymore. So I personally, maybe it works for them. I'm not sure, but I'm really surprised that many are just don't value a discount for recurring memberships because I don't see the point of it.
I got in on a good deal on. Oh, crikey! Sorry, that's just like whoa. Sorry, wrong button. I got in on a good deal on Gravity. I feel that if I'd have been on the current offering, I would have dropped it by now. But this looks great. You know, I like the look of this. I think this is a really nice development update. So, Gravity Forms 2.5. Keep your eyes peeled on that. Right, the next section.
How big the bubble is that Chris was talking about the bubble. I wonder, if you look at all the people who regularly buy stuff for WordPress, I wonder what percentage of people are in like the bubble that know about almost every form plugin available, and would have an argument about it, like I probably would. Oh, which Yoast, which SEO plugin you use, and what page builder you use, and some people are just like, what do you mean? I just use one code. Why do you care about this? And I wonder how big the bubble is because I know the four of us, I think, and most of the people listening and watching are probably in a bit of a bubble, in that we're all quite passionate about this.
For sure, but especially Gravity Forms is a developer tool, because there's no free offering. You need to know about it, because there's, at least it feels to me, not very much marketing or publicity. So they are a tool just for us. So maybe that's the reason I raised the question, because they are not the tool. Like, I don't know, there's so many stuff on Envato, or all the stuff that happens around TV. So it's so many stuff is going on lately. It's impressive.
Do they offer a trial though?
I don't know, actually. Good point. Let's have a quick look. Gravity Forms.
I spent $850 on Gravity Forms.
I can't be far behind you. Buy Gravity Forms, $59, instant download. Doesn't look like it. No, you're straight in on the buy now. Yeah, looks like that's what you got to do. Pay up. Yep. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to change tack. I'm going to move to, I'm just on the website, just having a quick look, and it looks like you just got to pay up straight away by the looks of it. All right, next one then is this WP Builds. We got this deals page, new one that came up this week. Actually, I'll go through the other ones. James Rose's Zapier Mastery course is 50% off with code Screw COVID. You can still get all these deals, but the new one that popped up this week, which I thought was quite nice, is this. I don't even know how to say that. How do you say that? Qubly. Qubly. I like the look of it. It's right up there with the other ones, Cadence and all the other ones. Seems to be a really good deal. It's it's on offer, $49, stackable from there. Just quickly, King Composer has had an update. This is outlined on WordFence. So has a plugin called Adning, advertising plugin. They had a critical vulnerability patched. I wanted to come to this one. I did a podcast this week with, let's wait for it, Sebastian van der Lands, and it was all about WordProof, which I think I mentioned last week. They won $1 million grant. No, they didn't. They won €1 million grant from the European Commission. And the idea is that you install this on your WordPress website and your content is provably existing, if you know what I mean. You can sort of absolutely categorically say that at this time, it looked like this. And so he comes on the podcast to talk about that, why you might use it, why you might care, what are the use cases, how does it even work? It's blockchain, baby. That's how it works. But I don't even know what that means. I kind of do. But he explains it all. He's brilliant. He's very passionate about it. And I feel that maybe in a litigious, in a litigious environment, proving that you own something's really good. It doesn't just go for WordPress stuff. It could be anything. You could upload a song into your media library, and then you could prove that that song was exactly like that at a certain date. Okay, that was that. The other one was me and Sabrina. We're doing this thing each and every week. We've been doing it for 3 weeks now.
Watch it.
We're kind of making it up as we go along. But the idea is that we're going for a WordPress. We've already done part 4. I need to change the description. We're on part 5 next week. I just wrote recently it was part 4. We're on week 5, coming up on Tuesday, hoping to figure out what the path is like for getting a WordPress plugin from 0 to 10,000 installs and going through that journey. It's very nice. It's very enjoyable to do it. And then there's a bunch of jobs. If you fancy working with iThemes or Liquid Web, software developer, WordPress technician, Whole Grain Digital have got a WordPress developer, Gravity Forms, senior developers needed. WordFence PHP guy and Human Made senior sales manager. And the last piece is all about hosting WordPress websites on Raspberry Pis, but nobody wants to talk about that. I doubt.
That's a funny thing to do.
Well, it's their own website. It's their full on. Their entire infrastructure has gone onto a stack of 14 Raspberry Pis. Look at them. There they are, all in a row. But I bet it's cheap as chips. I worked out. I had a Raspberry Pi running a piece of software to sync things with a thing called Sync Thing. By the way, if you've not used Sync Thing, it's awesome. Go check it out. And it runs on the Raspberry Pi. And I had it on, and I was interested. What does it cost to keep the Raspberry Pi on for a year? And it was $4 for the year. If you never switch it off, it'll consume $4 worth of energy, which is crazy cheap. So that's all I've got. Anybody want to add anything?
I actually caught the episode with Sabrina, and I really liked the roadmap that you had. And I remember you saying that you used a template from somewhere. Could you share that though?
Say again, which one?
There was a template for the roadmap that you had used. I don't.
Oh, yeah. So
I think that was a very nifty resource.
Yeah. So Sabrina is writing up the show notes at the end of each episode. And so if you go to, now I'm going to say Sabrina Zeidan. Let's see, Sabrina Zeidan. Let's just search for that and see if we get her website. Yay. But it doesn't appear that there's no. I wonder if it's /blog. Should we try that? Let's hope. Is it? No, it's 404. Hang on. I will make sure, Lee, that I get that sorted. But she has been sharing all the Google Docs that she's been creating. She's great. She's got such an interesting insight into it all. But yeah, thank you. So join us tomorrow for that. That would be great. Yeah. What's going on this week? Let's go in reverse order. Paul, what are you up to?
Well, I'm going to release a secret course on how to get your plugin from 10,000 to 100,000. Yeah, by putting an advert in the dashboard. That's how you do it.
Man, you're just totally rocking it.
I'm always thinking.
How do you get to the first 10 though? That's what I want to know. Hey, I see a slight gap there.
I do that. I got that. Your course, your series, yours, Sabrina.
He just purchases another plugin. Job done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. What about you, Bernhard?
Oh, what's happening? A little bit of work, a little bit of moving, getting the last items. I think we had a house and then we moved, and it's taking forever to get everything over.
Yeah.
To COVID and stuff like that, which delayed everything.
Moving.
Moved house.
Yeah. 3 months ago or something like that.
Well, you did prioritize the elephant ornament. So
yeah.
You can take that off the list.
Yeah. PHP.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm collecting elephants, not really, but it's like, people tend to bring gifts, and it's always something you don't really need because they don't know what to get for you. I mean, because they just feel like they have to bring something, which is, I don't care about it.
They just bring you elephants.
Still do.
Yeah.
So many years ago, I said, okay, just if you find a little funny elephant, just bring one to me. And so I have, I don't know, many of them laying around and different. And now that we had a little flat and the house for my parents, and so I have combined everything. Now I have so many elephants, and I'm currently in the process of sorting them out because each of them are nice, but they're too much. So
I have a rock solid suggestion for you, Bernhard. Next time you meet anybody for the first time and you suspect they might become a good friend, just say, I really like beer. I really, really like beer. I'm not that fond of elephants, oddly, but I really do like beer.
Yeah, but you can combine it. Well, take a look. Yeah, that's one of the funniest gifts I got.
Wow, look at
that! That's an elephant-style beer from Belgium.
Well, Praise the Lord. We have my life is complete. This is the final episode. You can buy elephant beer. And on that bombshell, what about you, Lee? What are you doing this week?
Oh, well, I'm actually moving myself. But
wow.
We're going, but we have a lockdown starting again from tomorrow. So I think that's going to be pushed for a while.
Okay.
But if you want to ever dispose of those elephants, please send them my way. I'm trying to reject it anyway.
That's
and
great.
some of that beer too.
Yeah, well, good luck. Should you by one reason or another manage to move, I hope it goes smoothly. But stay safe. If you go back into lockdown, I hope that all works out very well. Yeah. Thank you for joining us, Lee. More elephants. He's not lying. He's not lying. Have you noticed Bernhard never turns the camera? It's elephants all the way down. And I mean,
to be honest, currently that's the truth because I'm sorting them out. But just for you, What? Wait a second. Oh no,
Oh dear.
So, where is my money gonna go? No, I don't see you. I can
see you. I can still see you.
Yeah, I can see the elephant picture on the wall.
Oh look! There are elephants. There's so many elephants.
I can't see anything because the edge window just currently is.
No, it's fine. We saw the elephants. Like I say, my life is complete. I am Nathan Wrigley, signing off for the rest of eternity. I've seen the elephants, and I now know what I want to do. Right. See you next week. Join us next week. I can't remember who's on, but I suspect it'll be Paul with some other people because Paul joins us just about every week, which is fabulous. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for Lee. Thank you for Bernhard for joining us as well. I'm going to mute everybody and do that stuff. But if you want to stay on the line, we'll have a chat afterwards. So I shall put the banner up. Spread the word, people. Spread the word. Bye for now. Bye.